Hello everybody, Ian Robson here for another edition of Springhill Valley. Alright. This is the last episode, and we do have a couple things going on as per usual. Normally I would do face cam for the last episode, but I'm still not feeling so hot, so it wouldn't be very pretty. That's my excuse, at least. So that's what we're going to do for this time around. That's the reason why there's no face cam, if you're wondering. Anyhow, so as you can see, I have... I got the John Deere set up right there. He's currently unloading the combine. The combine's doing its thing. What I could actually do is I could drive the combine myself, actually, now that I think about it. Maybe I'll do that. Where are we? There we go. Yeah, so anyways, we got this field to harvest. We actually have 15, 17, 24, 25. We could do 37 soon right now, too, but... we'll see what happens. We'll see how much we get done. Anyhow, that's what we got. I guess the biggest thing we got going on today is the harvesting. Alright, there we go. So what I'll try and do is I'll try and... I'm not dropping. Oh, I am trying. Yeah, let's drop. So what I'll try and do is I'll try and make sure the guy doesn't drive all over the crops. We'll see what happens. I'm going to attempt to see if we can't get this done this way, so... there we go. Nice. I don't think I've harvested in a while, actually, now that I think about it. Although technically I'm using the GPS mod, only just because I want to make sure we get as much as possible through the combine. And it seems as if we're going to be okay here. We'll see how it works out. But one of the nice things about this is that we can set the driver up so he does his thing. We can, you know, adjust the driver as per we need, I guess, really. So we'll see what happens. Anyhow, I am still looking at different maps to go to next. One of the maps I was talking about was the Landviral Canal map. Looks like a pretty good map so far, so we'll see how it goes. And let me just adjust my microphone. And I'll keep talking, because then you won't hear the bumps quite as much, hopefully. There we go. I don't know why I always forget to adjust my microphone. Perfect. He's coming back now, apparently. Although I was hoping he wasn't going to drive all the crops, but... I could hire a worker now, probably, now that I think about it. Could. But we'll see how it goes. The reason why I, of course, play up is just so I can... adjust whether to stop the worker or not, because what happens is one of the cool things you can do is you can just stop the driver, send him home, and all that kind of jazz. So for example, if you're getting close to the end of a turn like this is right here, I'm just going to slow down a little bit here, and then at least we'll keep harvesting a little bit, and then we'll hopefully get the rest of this barley harvested. That's going to stop the driver there, and then we can go back to level number 2, and then we can send the driver home. Pretty cool. I don't know, I really like those little tiny features that you can do like that. It really adds to, is that? Oh, he's not behind us. It really adds to the effectiveness of, you know, courseplay. Whoa, that's where he is. One of the really cool things I like about that trailer is the fact that it does have that cover on it. As you can see, the cover goes on right there. I think that was one of the coolest features. Not every trailer has that, that's for sure. But it is a pretty nice little feature once you do get it. Let's see if we can't close this. There we go. That's a bit better. Yeah, so this is the last episode. Gonna finish off with the harvest, I guess. I tend to do that a lot. There's not much else we can really do on this map at the present time. There's not, we don't really have any wool to sell at all still. Or not enough, I should say. And we don't have many other things, so... not much we can really do about that. What if this is going to give me a fill? I guess it will give me at 80%, it'll give me a fill level, but... it's a pretty cool little picture. Minus that little thing on the side over there. There we go. There we go. I guess I should take this off too. Nice, we got little points there. Anyhow. But I don't know where I was going with that. I totally lost my train of thought there. Anyways, yes, the next map. I haven't decided yet, like I said, so if you have any suggestions, please leave a comment below with your suggestion. I do have a couple in mind. The one I mentioned was Landvito Canal. It's by the same guy who did Two Rivers, actually, or did the original Two Rivers. So should be pretty interesting, actually. I'm pretty excited to see what's going to come out of it if I do choose to go on that map. There's one other map I was looking at too, which looks like a pretty good map. It's one of the ones from OEB modding, one of the new ones that came out. So, well, there's a specific reason why I'm looking at. Did I hire a worker or something? I must have. Didn't even realize. Thought I was just using the GPS mod. Apparently, I wasn't. There's one of the main reasons why I want to stick to a specific map is because I want to test out the soil mod. Actually, is the main reason why. Because that mod seems pretty interesting, actually. You know, what it is basically, as far as I understand, it's like once you put fertilizer down. Let's say you put down liquid fertilizer, you have to actually cultivate it into the soil for it to take effect. I think for liquid fertilizer or liquid manure, you have to cultivate it, and I believe if you're dropping solid manure, it requires it to be plowed, if memory serves. So it's kind of adds an interesting little element to the game. And there's actually a couple other interesting mods that you can get that will do some interesting things as well. There's another one called, I think it's the Lime and Chalk, I think it's called. I don't know if he's going to get back in time. I think it's called the Lime and Chalk mod or something like that. Basically what it is you have to put lime on your crops and whatnot so you can, I don't know how, I'm not sure how that one works, to be honest with you. Oh no, I'm gonna get full. No. Where is he? I suppose this is the way I really should have done it from the start, is me harvesting and then having another guy doing his thing. I think he's slipping on. Oh. How did he get there? I have no idea. It's funny because I tested this off camera to see whether it would work or not. Are you gonna go forward then? No. To see whether it would be fine or not, and it actually was, which kind of threw me off a little bit. I didn't run into any problems at all, and yet here we are, right? It's always the way it works. And of course, is the other tractor way over there? Yes. Go figure. Yeah, it was weird because I didn't run into any problems before, but now apparently it thinks, I don't know what it's deciding to do, but it's doing something, that's for sure. So yeah, like I said, the other mod I'm not so sure what it does, the lime mod, but I know what the soil mod does. I've done a little bit of reading about that. Yeah, it seems pretty cool so far. Seems like it could be an interesting, add an interesting element to the game. I suppose there always is the forestry mod. Honestly, I probably wouldn't do much forestry just because it doesn't really twig my fancy that much. I know for some people they're really pumped about it. I know Hitman82, for example, is a guy who really liked, oh, it's still there, really liked the forestry mod, and he thought it added a really nice element. Whoa, really nice element to the game. But I don't know. I just didn't have the same feeling for whatever reason. So, all right, let's just set this guy up over here and unload this combine. Like, I like the concept of it. So, like, if you recall, there was a tree in one of the other fields we looked at. I think it was field 24, and there's a tree right in the corner. So it'd be really cool if in FS 2015 that if you had a tree like that you had a problem with, you could actually just you know, cut the tree down essentially, which is pretty cool. I like the idea of it, that's for sure. Halfway there. I don't know, it would add interesting little elements. It's like, let's say, hey, I don't like this tree right here, and you can just walk up to it and cut it down. Like, that's, you know, more realistic in the sense that you have a problem with a tree, you just go, take it down, basically. You still got the roots and the stump there, but you don't run into it with your gear and whatnot, so. Perfect. You are done. You can drive now. Skater done. Yeah, that would add an interesting little element to the game if we were able to do something like that. So, but not every map is that capable, or you're able to do that on every map. So, fortunate or unfortunate, I don't know, but it is just the way it is. So. It's kind of interesting. I was looking at the comments the other day, and there was a guy in the comments saying he harvests with an old Massey Ferguson combine harvester, and I think he said he harvests at like 1.8 or 1.9 miles an hour, which is pretty slow. But you're putting a lot of wheat or barley through an older machine like that. You really do have to take it easy. Nowadays, where all the money goes into is being able to do things faster. Like I've mentioned before, with a company called Vaderstadt, they do high-speed planting, basically. And John Deere has started to do the high-speed, or the high-speed planting, I guess it is, as well. So, it's all coming down to that type of stuff, but you do dish out the money for those types of things, right? So. Alright, let me just check to see what the comments were from the previous episode. What do we got here? Alright. It's funny. I don't know if you know this or not, but YouTube brought out I don't know what you call it, an application for your phone so you can manage your comments and your channel a bit better. Because the actual YouTube one is just the YouTube app itself is pretty terrible for managing things like comments and stuff like that and replying to comments. But with this particular one, it's actually a bit better. So, assuming it loads, right? That's the problem I'm running into at the moment, at least. It's taking forever. It's not as fast as I want it to be. It's never going to be as fast as my computer, is what it boils down to, because once you get a beefy computer, or a somewhat beefy computer, everything seems really slow in comparison to it, which is kind of sad, because you're like, you want to be excited about trying to use the app or something like that, and you're like zipping through stuff on your phone. It doesn't work that way. When you zip through things on your phone, it takes forever to do things. Not all the time, but sometimes it does. And if for whatever reason this is taking its time, which happens. Alright, we're at 92%, so he just dropped off his... He just dropped off that load of barley, so let's see if he's going to make his way back. That would be nice if he could. But it's hard to tell. Alright. Nope. Here we go. Alright, let's see what... I'm going to go really slow here, or else I'm going to fill up way, way too fast. Void Alpha was asking about the arms you put on the TM150 New Holland. I believe those are separate purchase arms you have to get. Connor says you most likely wouldn't use a tractor to pick up bales. It's possible. Nathan says a lot of hay farmers around him use 10 bale accumulators. So I was mentioning about the... oh yeah, it's not in the group anymore. Go figure, he was fine this time. I was talking about the bale accumulator last time, and he was saying a lot of people around his area use a 10 bale accumulator, which is pretty cool. You can actually change it around to upgrade. I think you can change it to like a 10 or 12 or 15, so... what else do we got here? Mr. I think it's Kieter, I think how he pronounces the first name. Says I should play on a small vintage farming map, like the old family farm. It's definitely doable. I don't know many. There honestly haven't been too many small maps out that I've really twigged my fancy. Deidre says, cut the season short, but play on a map that no one else, that I think he's trying to say that no one else plays on. is that it's having troubles apparently. Doesn't know where I am. Well, let's just put this in the right mode. That probably helps. That's probably why it wasn't working. Well, maybe not. There we go. Alright. Daniel says, great video as always. He says, I take the Springhill Valley up to 30 episodes. Unfortunately, Daniel, it's already been decided. I think I've already mentioned that a couple times now. Jacoby says, when you drive around with a loader, you got to keep the loader arms down as low as possible. Definitely, it's true. I don't know how high I had the arms last time I was driving around, but you definitely don't need them very high. Harvester Man was asking about whether or not I wanted to play on a hilly map, and he had a hilly combine he could give me, apparently. You're totally going to run into that tree, aren't you? Oh, look at that. Totally missed the tree. That's awesome. I'm pretty sure it's a developer version, of course, but it does that. Implematic, I think, was the one who suggested... suggested that I play on the Landvira Canal map, which is indeed a pretty awesome map. I checked it out, actually. It looks pretty sweet. Craft Farms asks if I have seen the new version of the Newbie Farm. I indeed have seen version 5 of the Newbie Farm. It's a pretty cool map. I suggest checking it out. It is definitely a little bit more challenging map because you have reduced yields and longer growing times. That's the gist of it. Really, tractor? You're not going to drive any faster than that. Let's see if I put the arm back out again, will he speed up? Nope, apparently not. I don't know what he's doing. Alright, Bob says, I think you should finish it earlier, and you can use the Merlot, the 9-bale stacker, I think he was saying. Greg was commenting on the fact that many farmers in the UK are also getting older. It's not just here in Canada. It's all over the place. Why are you going so slow? Like, seriously. Pick the speed up a little bit here. Yeah, it's really weird. It's all. I guess it's happening all over the world, or at least in places where I don't know how to. Maybe I'll say Europe and North America. It seems to be happening where. Sure, now you want to go fast. Jeez. It seems like it's in North America and Europe where a lot of farmers are getting older. And just people don't want to take over the farm. It's too hard. They don't like the lifestyle. Whatever the reasons happen to be. But these days, it seems like the only way you're going to get into farming is, you know, through family. Basically, it doesn't seem like it doesn't happen very often where someone who has no connection with farming in their life at all wants to get into farming, just because it just doesn't work that way a lot of the time. And I think primarily the reason is because it is a very difficult lifestyle. And a lot of times what people do is they do have an off-farm income just because it's not feasible to live only on the farm. Actually, I had a really interesting comment the other day. I was checking through my email and I got a comment from one of the websites I run. And they were talking about how they were going to start a farm, but it was going to be a woodlot farm. Which is kind of interesting because it's something I hadn't talked about on the website. But it's definitely a way that farmers tend to make a chunk of their money, depending on what type of farm they live on, right? But a lot of farmers do have some sort of woodlot. Have some sort of woodlot on their farm, so they can, you know, harvest that and sell the wood. That's one thing you can do with it theoretically, and the other thing you can do with it, of course, is you can use it to heat your house, which is always a nice thing as well. If you don't have a fancy heating system, it's definitely a possibility. But I do know a lot of farmers that use wood as a source of heat for their shop, for example, or heat for their house. But a lot of farmers do they do that, I guess, after the harvest, in the fall and perhaps in the winter they do a lot of wood collection, I guess. Actually, I knew a guy once who, excuse me, how to get a drink of water there. I knew a guy who, he ran a wood lot in the winter, except he used to use Clydesdales, and that was how he got the logs out of the bush. I don't know if it's the most efficient way, but it's definitely worked for him. It was one of the more interesting things about him. He's, you know, normal guy, but he had farmed I think it was a few acres, let's say, and that's how he did it with Clydesdales. It was pretty crazy, actually. I thought it was pretty cool how I found that out. Nathan says a bidirectional could use instead of a bidirectional, they could use a telescopic loader. That's true. Definitely could use something like that, Nathan. The big reason why the bidirectional was a good choice was because here in Canada, of course, you do get a lot of snow, and not like a little bit of snow. You get, you know, a good hefty chunk of snow. Like you can get upwards of 30 centimeters in a day, sort of idea. Depending where you can get even more than that, depending where you live as well. But you can definitely get something along those lines really easily here in Canada. But the bidirectional is nice because it does give you the ability to use it as a tractor. There we go. To use it as a tractor with a snowblower on the front of it, so you can use it to remove the snow. And it's really nice because you can see what you're doing really easily, right? So, all right, get over here, John Deere. It's gonna fill up awfully quickly. I do like that trailer though. I think it was I think it was WBF. I honestly can't remember still, but it's a really cool little trailer. Let me just give you a little bit of a. There we go. Nope. Apparently that driver wants to drive really slow. Let's just wait here for him then. So that's what it looks like right there. Griffiths. I think it's a UK company maybe, or I'm not sure. I've never seen it, but it looks pretty neat. I really like those mudguards. It's pretty slick. I have to admit that. He's gonna get full right there probably. But yeah, I don't know. That's just from FS UK, if you're wondering. That's where I got it from. Just one of the newer FS UK mods that came out. So if you want it, that's where you can get it from. Excuse me. But I don't know. It's a pretty nifty little mod. One of the newer ones. There's actually I got some of the other ones. A couple of the overloaders I got on FS-UK recently. I think it's all the same person. I'm not sure about that, mind you, but anyhow, they're all pretty. They're all fairly similar mods. That's probably the reason why they all look somewhat similar, I guess. Alright, let's get this started here. Take out this last little bit on the corner here, and I think it's one more pass. I think. I don't know. May not be. Oh, what else do we got? Philip wants me to keep playing on Springhill. Excuse me. As I mentioned, I'm pretty dead set on getting off of Springhill because lots of people are playing on it. It's a nice map though, don't get me wrong. It's not because I don't like the map, just because a lot of people are playing on it and I want to broaden my horizons a little bit, I guess. I don't know. Oh my goodness, we're going to be full by the time he gets back here again. It's fine. This map would have been interesting, like a small truck. I guess you people from the Europe would call. I guess maybe these England people or English people would call them England people. What the heck? The English would call it a lorry. I would just call it a truck. But from England, you'd call it a lorry, right? That would be something, of course, that would be kind of interesting on this map. Something like a, I don't know what you even call it. I don't know, truck with a tipper on the back of it, like a dump truck, essentially. Something like that. That's all one unit, as opposed to being not articulated, but as opposed to having the oh no, as opposed to having the back on with the attachment. Oh my goodness! Instead of having something like, let me just show you. That might be better. Like this, plus a tipper on the back. Like, no, not like that. Like this. That would, could you imagine trying to take that around here? These are new mods. Just picked them up. Haven't tried them yet. It's on American Eagle Modding if you're interested. It's apparently the biggest grain cart in the world, I think. That's not a mother bin. I think that's what they talked about, at least. Oh, he did it again. You know what it is? It's because the trailer's catching on the corner of the building there. That's what it is. Anyhow, I think I'm going to stop the episode because I keep wanting to cough repeatedly. So, without further ado, my name's Iain Robson. This has been Farming Simulator 2013. I tried. 2013, and this is Springhill Valley. Talk to you guys later.